Okay, hey everybody, welcome back to TìandTarot. Today's reading is going to be all about your next friend who's coming into your life. This is purely on a friend level, it's purely platonic. So we do have a pick a pile reading today, so please take a moment to pick a pile based on which one you feel most intuitively drawn to, or based on the number of the pile or even the crystal that's on top. If you do like choosing with crystals, I will get into those with you now. So for pile 1, we have some snow agate. For pile 2, we have aura quartz mushroom. For pile 3, we have some strawberry quartz. For pile 4, we have some titanium aura quartz. And for pile 5, we have some grey lace agate. Once you've picked your pile, there will be timestamps in the description box below where you can begin your reading, and I will see you there. Okay, hello pile 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the snow agate. So let's get into your cards. Okay, so you have the devil in reverse and you also have the ace of wands. This tells me that your next friend that's coming into your life is someone that is very creative, who's able to sort of manifest the things that they want very easily. So if they come up with an idea, they are not held back by lies that someone has told them. You know, it could be like things like, oh, you're not worthy of achieving this creative goal, or you can't do it, or things like that. Whenever anyone tries to tell them anything like that, it just doesn't work. And they go after what they want anyways. Even if people aren't on board or they think, oh, that's not a traditional path to take, don't do that, that's risky, they're going to do it anyways. So they aren't held back by sort of other people not believing in them. They very much believe in themselves, and they are their own sort of entrepreneur into the things that they want to achieve. And things like that. Okay, so we have the 12th house. So this friend could definitely be a Pisces, because the 12th house is ruled by Pisces. So this sort of conveys to me that this is quite a mellow person. While they do have very strong emotions and a lot of emotions because they are very mature, they are just quite a zen person. So for example, someone who feels a lot of emotions but doesn't know how to tame them well might believe people when they say, oh, you're not worthy of receiving this thing, or you're not good enough. But someone who's very secure in their emotions, it would be very easy for them to forget those kind of negative comments. So that is this kind of friend. They can forget those comments. They're very emotionally mature and very calm. This is someone who likes to spend a lot of time on their own. They like their alone time. They're very sort of introverted and sort of secluded, if that makes sense. But that doesn't mean that they don't enjoy hanging out with friends and things like that. It just means they are someone who requires that downtime to kind of recover from a night out and things like that. This might be quite a spiritual person. Maybe they're a little bit witchy, because I am just getting that energy. The fact that we have a wand, which, you know, could be related to magic. You've also got like the devil here, and then you've got the sage and the crystal. It just feels very spiritual, but not in an organized religion sense. It feels very kind of just spiritual, essentially. So it's their own faith that they kind of want it to be. That's what it is. There's no kind of structure to it. Okay, let's see if there's any other signs. Oh, we also got Cancer, so they're definitely a water sign. So this is someone who is very emotional. I do think we have the word imaginative here, which is very much true with this Ace of Wand energy. They're very much the creative, I can do this, you know, proactive kind of person. I do think they're really protective over their friends. This probably is an intuitive person because we do have intuition here, and then also with this kind of witchy spiritual energy over here. But they can get moody. It's weird because with like Pisces in terms of like on paper in astrology, they're not really depicted as moody. They're quite, you know, they're the end of the journey. They're the completion of everything. They're almost like the complete opposite of like Aries. But in my personal experience, Pisces can be quite secretive and moody. So they might not tell you when something has upset you. When something has upset them. And then they might then, you know, sulk about it, and you maybe don't realize like anything's even happened, but because they're a private person, they're sort of sulk in private, but then also realize, okay, that I realize like I'm sort of the cause of this, and then they kind of resolve it themselves as well. So they might require you to kind of A, give them space, but B, be their kind of clarity from those kind of moody emotions. So that is what I'm getting here. Then I also wanted to roll some astro dice. So let's do that now. And then I've got another set of cards that I kind of want to get into, as well as some, you know, what they may look like and things like that. Okay, so you have Taurus. So they might be working on, you know, building their kind of possessions and things like that, kind of increasing their material success. That might be a journey they're on right now. And then you also have Leo energy here. So this is a successful friend, especially with the Ace of Wands. Like when they go after something, they're successful in it. So that, you know, you're kind of guaranteed to be a bit lucky if you hang around this person, because that success rubs off on you, you know. But because they are a secretive kind of isolated person, I don't think they're quick to share how they did things, you know, and how, like, and to kind of pass on that knowledge. They'd only really talk about that stuff with like very close personal friends. So you may have to hold out for their kind of tips and tricks on how they are so happy and do live their best life. But I think one of the secrets to that is this kind of then energy as well. You also have Venus here, which is relationships, you know, it's about beauty and harmony. And I do feel like this is a very harmonious friendship. Like you guys just get along really well. It's very beautiful and very sweet. And it's kind of like a long haul connection. It's very much like a friend for life. Even if, you know, you guys stop texting, it's not a big deal. Like it's not like you guys then have this big argument about it. It's kind of like you flow in and out. Like, you know, the ocean kind of fluctuates. You'll kind of come in with messages and then pull away for a bit and maybe not say anything for a while, and then come back in with more messages and then pull away, and so on and so forth. Okay, I also wanted to pull a crystal card just to get their kind of any last star signs and what they kind of bring into your life, how they kind of impact your life and the connection between you guys. Ooh, okay, you have Unakite. I really love these colours. I definitely feel a connection there. And then you also have the number 9, and you have Scorpio. So they could be a Scorpio, and I do believe Scorpio is associated with this card. I'm not 100% certain, so don't quote me on that, but I think it is. So they could also be a Scorpio. So that's definitely, it's water energy all around. Such strong water energy here. Very emotional. This is a strong emotional connection. And it says, I am here to flourish. And they very much have that energy. You know, they're here to be successful. They're here to make something of themselves. And that is just the kind of person that they are. And that's how the connection between you guys is, that you're both on that journey. So you both kind of help each other flourish. You're both quite balanced people. I think that's why it's easy to find this harmony between the two of you. And I do think this person, we have the word release here. And I do think it's so easy for them to release like negativity, negative opinions or harmful opinions that were aimed to like hurt this person. They just forget that stuff. They don't really care about it. Very spiritual. And they kind of lead with their heart. They are intuitive, so they do, you know, they can see a bad friend from a good friend a mile away. So the fact that you guys are even friends just goes to show how much of a great person you are, because they lead with their heart and they also lead with their intuition. Okay. Now I wanted to just pull like 3 sort of facial features from this cup just to see how you might, recognize them. So we have amber brown eyes, angular cheekbones, and then we also have dry lips, which makes me feel like you guys low-key bully each other, but that's your like sense of humor. It's just not taking things seriously. And then I also wanted to pull a couple of labels to see maybe when you might meet them, like what time period, where they're maybe like from, and what they kind of get up to in their spare time. So you have online, which means you might meet this person online. You also have August, so you could be meeting them like next year, August, this kind of new friend of yours. But you also have the gym, so that could be that they like to go to the gym a lot, or you do, and that's how you guys kind of meet. So it could very well be at the gym or online and around August time. Okay, so that was your reading poll 1. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you next week on Fridays for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Okay, hello poll 2, welcome to your reading, all about your next friend coming in. So you chose the aura quartz mushroom. And let's get into your cards. Oof, okay. So this person has a tendency to be a little bit impulsive. They might be a little bit flaky, like a little bit wishy-washy. So you might like arrange like plans or something. Let's say you arrange group plans in like a group chat. And it's implied that everyone's invited, but because they weren't personally invited, they feel a bit weird coming, so they don't go. It's like that kind of energy. And the reason why that's happening, what that's stemming from, is insecurity. They don't feel valued, and that's not because of the way you treat them. It's very much because of the way other people in their past have treated them. They don't feel like they can contribute anything to the friendship. They don't feel valuable. They don't feel important. They don't feel wanted, essentially. So when they don't turn up to events, it's not that they don't care or that they don't want to be there. They want to be there. It's just that unfortunately their anxiety's won. They just need that reassurance that, they are a valued member of the group. They could also be a Leo, or they could also be a water sign like Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, just because we do have these 2 cards here. But they're very much trying to get into their higher power, their higher energy, which they just aren't at the minute. And hopefully through your friendship and your kind of guidance, it can lead them to that. Okay, so let's get into, also for some reason I feel like they might have like bad taste in partners, and it might be like a really frustrating situation for you, because you're like, oh my god, why do you do that to yourself? Like, you deserve so much better, and it's really hard trying to convince them to see that. So you might actually struggle with that a lot. I also wanted to get into any other cards to see if their star sign and things like that. So we do have Jupiter here, which is rules Sagittarius. So they could be a Sag. This person, the thing is about them is that they kind of need balance. They are a smart person. They are like an emotional person. They have the key things they need to be their higher self. It's just about putting them in order and becoming harmonious. They have that Sag energy where they could just laugh off, comments that hurt them, but they just aren't wielding it. They don't have the confidence to do that. Oh, we also have Capricorn here. So they might be very adventurous, maybe quite physical, quite sporty. They might go to the gym a lot, things like that. They could also be a Capricorn. So this is someone who I think is very disciplined. With this kind of the cup here, it really gives me the vibe of someone randomly like turning up to a party and no one really expects them to be there, but they're drinking a cup of water. They're not drinking alcohol. So I think they're very they're a healthy person. So they're already quite they're quite disciplined in the sense of they're like, no, I won't drink alcohol, or I won't skip the gym today, or whatever. They're very, very disciplined. I do think that this person wants to be their higher self and reach that. They are ambitious towards that. They are very ambitious career-wise. They do, they don't skip work. They're there every day. you know what, I'm not going to incriminate myself. I'm not going to add my comment about what I do, but they don't skip work. They are very, you know, rigid and disciplined and ambitious. The area that falls short in is their emotions. So it's just because they have tumultuous emotions that kind of puts them in these difficult situations, but they're actually a very disciplined, intelligent person. They just don't, you know, act like it. They don't apply it to the other areas of their life. So I think you really enjoy being around this person because it's refreshing to be around someone who is so ambitious and kind of gives you these like tips and tricks to like having a really successful life, especially financially. And I think this is such a caring friend. Like, they really care about you. They worry about you. Now, I wanted to pull another crystal card just to, well, a crystal card. We've not pulled one yet. Just to see their kind of, any other sort of messages. So we do have the number 5 here. So again, could be a Leo. We have honey calcite. This is a creative person who's very joyous and energized. And they run with their crown chakra, which makes sense because this is an intelligent person. I feel like they would be in something like business or finance or something. Like something where they got to be thinking all day, you know, very calculated. They could be like a nurse or a doctor or something. This also says Leo, Cancer, Pisces. So as I said, there was water energy, so it could be Cancer or Pisces, but then there was Leo energy twice, so it could be Leo. Could also be an earth sign because we do have a cap here. And then we do have Sag, which is fire, but because we only got those once, I think it's more likely it will be Leo, Cancer, Pisces. And then we also have I'm filled with creativity and embrace my personal power. At the minute they're up in the air, they're wild, they're this tumultuous sea or ocean like with extreme waves, and they need to just like come back to earth and feel really grounded and find something that kind of keeps them focused on themselves, which would be something creative. So maybe you like, if you're like, come on, let's go do pottery painting or something. I know I'm always recommending this, but maybe you're like, let's go pottery painting, and then in that time that you guys have together, it's almost like a little therapy session. Okay, and I did want to roll the astro dice for any last messages. Oh, we have number 1. So she, why do I keep saying she? Must be a she. This friend must be a she. But we have 1. This person needs to focus on themselves because we do have Aries here. They need to be selfish. They need to start thinking about themselves, putting themselves first. They actually need to think about themselves. And then we also have Libra here, which is very much about harmony, peace. It's, you know, the middle sign of all the houses. So it's, you know, about finding that balance, finding peace, which they very much need to work on. So that's what's coming through really strongly. And I think they find that in your friendship. But again, if they don't find it in your friendship, don't put the pressure on you and be like, oh, they didn't find it because our friendship wasn't strong enough. No, like, it's not on you at the end of the day. It's just a nice thing if your friendship did kind of provide that security to them, but it's not your responsibility essentially. So don't then feel guilty if like it didn't pan out the way you'd hoped. And then we also have Mercury here, which is, you know, communication. It's about your intelligence, your thoughts, things like that. So they definitely, while they are an intelligent person, they need to work on the way they think about themselves, their kind of thoughts, internal things. And they need to work on their communication. As I said earlier, while they do flake because they feel like unwanted or like they shouldn't be there or don't deserve to be there, it is something they need to work on. It's just a simple switch of communication of being like, do you want me to actually come to this party? And if someone says yes, then feeling more confident in that. But it could also mean that if you just send out a, hey, are you coming tonight kind of thing, that might motivate them as well. So it's just about improving the communication that's there. And I did also want to pull 3 sort of labels to see when you guys might meet, maybe where they're from, that sort of thing. So we have a few here. So we have November, so you guys could be meeting in November. We also have Estonia, so they could be from Estonia, or maybe you guys are on holiday when you meet. And we have Trinidad and Tobago. So again, could be where they're from, or it could be a holiday you guys were on, or, you know, just where you guys meet. And then I also wanted to pull 3 sort of facial features for you to be able to like recognize them or when you see them sort of thing. So we have blue yellow eyes, We also have arched eyebrows. And we also have green yellow eyes, so they've got very striking eyes, essentially. And that kind of reminds me of this card again, just because she does have those kind of features. So I keep looking at that card. I feel like they very much look like this person. Okay, so that was your reading poll 2. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. And I hope to see you here next week on Friday for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Okay, hello pile 3. You chose the strawberry quartz. So let's get into your cards. So you have the King of Swords and you also have the World card. This is a very intelligent person. They are very in tune with themselves, the environment around them. Their thoughts are very positive and secure. It would be really hard to kind of, break their spirit. They've got a strong sense of self. And I think that's testament to what they've been through. They've had people push them to their limit, and so it's just, unless they face like the worst thing ever, that it's just so impossible for them to even be tested. Like those small comments people make that are supposed to like be little digs and to hurt people, it just won't work. Not at all. This person's too secure in themselves. And then we also have the World card, which makes me feel like this person's very successful. They have achieved everything they've wanted to achieve, and they kind of get to sit back and relax now. They might even be at a point where they've actually retired or at least are taking a break from work, or have a job where maybe they're the CEO, so they could just pop in and out and spend most of their time doing what they actually want to do in their spare time, because they're just at such a heightened point in their life that they don't really have to really grind anymore. They're quite successful, they've got the money for the tattoos, to get their hair done on the regular, have nice clothes, things like that. So they're very like well off, but they're not like, it's not crazy, but they are very, very successful, especially for their age group and who they are. Like, this is a very successful person. I also feel like if they do own a business of some kind, they're like expanding, like they're branching out, opening more shops, things like that. They're very happy. They've got like a strong sense of like family and friends, whether that's chosen family or, relatives. Okay, so let's get into their potential star signs, or like the house they're from, or planets, or anything like that, just to get some extra messages. Okay, so we have Uranus, which is ruled by Aquarius, so this is very much a friend. This is your goofy, silly friend, where like you say a joke and it's the dumbest thing and it's literally that one word and it's not even funny, but you both can't breathe, like you're like wheezing. It's like that kind of friendship, like just so funny, you can't breathe, you're laughing all the time. And they sort of, I feel like, we also have the 9th house here with Sagittarius. So this person travels, especially with the World card here. They are just so successful at this point in their life. They travel a lot. They are constantly on the move. That might be how you guys meet. Maybe you're both traveling at the same time. They come from like a slightly privileged background where everything was kind of set up for them. They were set up to inherit maybe a business or just have a big inheritance. They were set up to have like a private education or a very good education. Things were kind of like just laid out for them, essentially. That's not to say that they, don't achieve things on their own. It's just that they did come from a privileged place. It might be a bit of a challenge for you. Like, that might be like something you guys clash heads on, is because they are so unrelatable in that sense that sometimes some of the things they say or do, you're just like, okay, how are you not getting it? Like, how do you not get that, like, Susan can't come to the party today because she's broke? Like, and they're like, yeah, but just use the money that's in your savings account. And they're like, that's not something most people have, and like they just don't get it. So it might be something you guys clash heads over quite a lot. And I think their kind of presence in your life is going to create some sort of change in a big way. It could change your outlook on life. It might be that you kind of get pulled into their whirlwind, but it could also just be that like a friendship you weren't expecting, or potentially a friendship that maybe doesn't end on the best of terms, and so that is like something that causes almost a disruption to your life, so you have to like face that. But it could also just be when we have disruption over here, it could very much just be that because they are traveling all the time, maybe they like are like, bitch, come with me, so you're always traveling, and so that kind of disrupts your life. It could be all of those things at the same time, but it could also be those things are different outcomes for each of you watching this video. Okay, and I also wanted to get into a crystal card just to see any star signs, what the connection is between you guys, like what they kind of bring into your life. Okay, so we have clear quartz. I am a radiant being filled with all frequencies of light. So yeah, this is a positive energy, especially when we have Aquarius here. I just don't feel like I can say there's a bad bone in their body. Like, even if they are a bit naive, it comes from like a naive place, not a place of like intentionally trying to upset anybody. So I do think that this is like a very good friendship, because I have a soft spot for Aquariuses. They're so cute. And then we also have the number 4 here, so they could also be an Aries, because Aries is April, which is the 4th month, so that's what that reminds me of. And then I also feel like they very much enhance your life. They amplify it, they bring it up. Because of their kind of situation, it just starts sort of bleeding into your situation. So it's like, by association almost, you just start to have these like change, like maybe they're like, okay, I'm going to Spain tomorrow, I've booked you a flight too, come with, you know. It could be things like that. It could also just be that like they genuinely bring so much happiness into your life that your life just starts to be more amplified. They're a very powerful person, and I think their presence is quite healing for you, and your connection with this person is healing. You both kind of heal each other. You kind of teach them how to be more humble and down to earth, and teach them sort of the realities of life, and they kind of teach you how to be more free and more fun and willing to, you know, embrace the good things in life. We also have Leo, Gemini, and Capricorn, so they could be those signs as well. So let's get into the astro dice for any more, you know, astrology signs. Okay. Oh, that spin. I feel like that faces that way. I don't know why, I just felt that. Okay, so we do have Scorpio here. This friendship could be for you, despite the fact that, like I said, this is platonic and friendshipy. Scorpio just means that, like, either this friend has very few friends and really likes you in the sense that they're like, this is my best friend, I don't like nobody else, but I like this person, and you might also feel the same way. But it could also be a friends with benefits situation for some of you. Like, for some of you, you might genuinely be friends, but then occasionally, you know, have the benefits. And especially since we have the 8th house, so, you know, Scorpio twice, because the 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. For quite a few of you, I think there's a strong friends with benefits energy. Very much friends, like this is, you know, just the way it is. And then you've also got Neptune here, which, you know, it covers themes of sort of kind of your intuition, psychic abilities, maybe your imagination, your dreams, which kind of makes me feel like you guys talk a lot about like random things like conspiracy theories and like just strange like little ideas that you guys have, like imaginations, you guys have delusionships, you guys are always talking about your delusionships with people. But it also makes me feel like this is someone of like your dreams. This is your dream friend. Like, this is kind of like a big personality and a big person coming into your life who you didn't necessarily like see coming, and you're pleasantly surprised. And then I also wanted to pull just some sort of pieces of paper to kind of gauge when you guys might be meeting, where they're from, where you guys could meet, things like that. Okay, and so I pulled 3 for you. Unfortunately, you didn't receive a month, so I can't gauge what month you guys are meeting. But I did get a few places, which could be places you guys meet at, could be places you guys travel to. So we have Croatia, we also have Mongolia, and we also have Canada. So this could be places you guys are both from, it could also be where you guys meet, things like that. And then I also wanted 3 kind of features, facial features, just so it's easier for you to kind of recognize this person. Okay. Prominent brow ridge. You also have short eyelashes. And then you also have eye bags. So that could be some facial features that make you recognize this person. Okay, so that was your reading, pile 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here next week on TìandTarot on Fridays for another reading. Bye. Okay, hello pile 4. You chose the titanium aura quartz. So let's get into your reading all about your next friend. Oh my god, amazing. I'm so glad this card came out. Okay, so you have the Hierophant. So I feel like someone in this group is like, I feel like it's this person. But they're like the mum energy of the group. They are the person, or like dad energy of the group. They're the person protecting everybody, making sure they're okay, checking in with everyone, organising the meetups. They're very much like an active participant in this friendship. This is like a lifelong friend who you can kind of grow with. I feel like they're quite a peaceful, calm person. They enjoyed like the humble things of life, like meeting up with friends and things like that. Like they enjoy family time, friend time, walks through the park. Like they aren't really, you know, fazed by like flashy materialistic things. And I also feel like they might be quite traditional, very much like following a traditional path of like school, then job, then marriage, then a baby, then grandbaby. Like they follow that kind of pre-blazed path, and that's okay. I'm just, you know, giving you that idea. And then we also have the Knight of Swords in reverse, which makes me feel like they're not a very confrontational person. They're quite peaceful, but also it's not just about confrontation, it's also like they're not someone who is particularly like overly passionate about something. They might really enjoy things, but they're not going to be upset if those things don't come to fruition or if they can't do them or, you know, anything like that basically. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting for this friend. So let's get into any potential star signs or planets, things like that. I felt this one. So we've got Saturn, which is ruled by Capricorn, or rules Capricorn. And you have stability, restriction, limitation, and control. This is a stable person. I think they've got their ducks in a row. They're very organized. They're very, you know, they know how to plan, budget, things like that. So this person is very stable. They're kind of the friend you turn to for advice in the group, the confidant. But because they are so good at managing, they also have this tendency to be controlling. And I think that might be a conflict you guys kind of face, is that, not necessarily like you address it, but it's just something that maybe you guys clash heads on sometimes, is because they might really want to control something, and they might be like, oh, let's all meet at this restaurant next week, and someone else is like, oh, can we not do a restaurant because I don't feel like that, and then they feel annoyed because their plan's been kind of foiled. But they won't be confrontational about it. They'll just be like, oh, okay, oh, I'm actually busy that day. Like, they just won't want to do the thing and will try to do anything to do something else, basically. So I think this person does have a tendency to be controlling, which can put a strain on the friendship. But you know, every friendship has its faults and its good parts. Okay, this is interesting because the previous pile also had the 9th house, which is Sagittarius. And that person was very like flamboyant, extravagant, very much like almost has too much kind of resources, so then they're just like really splashing it and blowing it down the drain. This person, on the other hand, while they do come from a background that was kind of privileged in the fact that things were set up for them, the ducks were laid in a row for this person. You know, they were put in a higher education, they had inheritance set up for them, they had things planned, they had, you know, maybe help towards getting a house and things like that. They do travel, they don't have problems there, so that almost can afford them the privilege to enjoy the humble things because they don't have to stress about the big things. But this is by no means like a very, very luxurious lifestyle. It's just a very stable and comfortable lifestyle. So I don't think there will be any jealousy there. I don't think it will create problems. I don't think they'll be out of touch. I do feel like they're someone who can be empathetic. They do recognize their own kind of privilege, even if they're kind of hush-hush about it and don't really want to talk about it. They do recognize that it is there. And they could definitely be a Sag. They could be someone who loves to travel, is quite ambitious, which I do get with the fact that they are such a budgeter and things like that. I think they take work very seriously because I think they feel like they have to make a name for themselves because things were laid out for them, so they feel like they have to kind of prove that they did orchestrate at least some of it. I also feel like a baker energy. They might cook a lot and host dinners and want you guys to try their food and things like that and compliment them. Okay. So, we have the first house with Aries, which is very much this card's energy, in my opinion. So, I feel like this person may have a tendency to be slightly self-centered, but they are empathetic, so it's not like they're blind to other people. It's just that sometimes they don't consider other people in the decisions they make. And then we also have Libra here with balance and harmony, so I do feel like this is a very balanced person. This is somebody who has put like equal amounts of eggs into each basket of their life, if that makes sense. So this is a very harmonious person, and it's a harmonious friendship. You guys do get along. Yeah, the controlling issue, might be a little bit annoying, but, everyone's kind of got their situations going on. And I feel like this is a friendship that is peaceful. Like, you guys can continue the dynamic as it is without, a hitch. It's not necessarily a negative dynamic. And then we also have Mars here, which is interesting because we had Aries, and then Mars rules Aries. So they could definitely be an Aries. I'm feeling like that sign has come up the most out of all the other signs, just because we have Aries, Mars, we've got Sagittarius, which is another fire sign, so it could be Sagittarius, but also the Knight of Swords gives me Aries energy, so they could very well be an Aries. Also, I feel like there might be a little bit of competition within the friend group. It could be between you and this person, but it could be between other people in the group. And I do get that because of the Mars energy. There may also be maybe like an undertone of attraction here. I don't think anything comes of it. I don't think it's like a friends with benefits situation. I don't think it's like a romance waiting to happen. But there's some sort of sometimes like a almost, wow, I'm impressed by this person, and then you're like, wait, am I attracted to them? But like, it's not that kind of situation, because I do feel like with the Mars energy there's kind of that undertone of that passion there, but I don't think it's like requited. So whoever's feeling it, I don't think it's returned. Okay, so let's pull a crystal card to see if there is any other messages. Okay, so we got the same card as the last pile, number 4, which again reminds me of Aries because April, Aries. And we also have Leo, Gemini, Capricorn. This person's is, so it says here, I'm a radiant being filled with all frequencies of light. They are kind of like the light of the room, the light of the party, but I think once they irritate someone or once someone irritates them, it kind of ruins that energy. So even if they do have this like abundant light energy, if they annoy somebody and really get under their skin, that person is just going to be like, oh god, like when they walk in it's going to be more of a storm than a radiant light. But very much because we do have this like radiant light coming off of them here and here, this is just such a happy bubbly friend. You really enjoy being around them. Like if you meet up in a group, the group almost isn't complete until they arrive. And yeah, this is just a very healing friendship. There's a lot of sort of, you guys enhance each other's lives, you make each other's lives better, and together you are powerful. With this dynamic, you guys are a powerful group. This is very much the savior friend, but it's also somebody who can almost do no wrong and has sort of no faults to anybody who wasn't their friend. But the friends, like, you guys all know each other's sort of insecurities and deep dark secrets. Okay, and now I also wanted to get into how you might recognize this person. I just wanted 3 sort of like facial features, things like that, to kind of go off of. So we have underbite, we also have deep set eyes, and we also have expressive eyes. A lot of people have had quite a lot of focus on the eyes. I also wanted to know when and where you guys might meet, or where you guys might be from, or where you guys might travel together, things like that. So we have Solomon Islands. We also have St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And then we also have Korea. So again, that could be where you guys meet. It could also be where you guys are from. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that reading, pile 4. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I do hope to see you here on Friday next week for another reading on TìandTarot. Bye. Okay, hello pile 5, welcome to your reading all about your next best friend. So you chose the grey lace agate. Let's get into your reading. So, oh my god, this is such lovely energy. Okay, this person is so grounded, so down to earth. Like they are such a lovely, bright energy, happy, bubbly person. Like they love hanging out with their friends, their family, their pets. They love going for walks in the park. Like they love these sort of like humble pleasures, humble joys. And it's almost like good things just seem to happen to them. I think because they are so agnamic and just emit this bright, beautiful, successful energy, things just end up, opportunities just kind of fall into their lap, which they can then grow and make sort of into something very fruitful. This is such a creative person, and they have everything they need within themselves. They're completely well-rounded. They have all the resources they need. They're talented, they're smart, they're emotional, they're supportive, they're empathetic. They also take care of themselves. So this is somebody who has everything they need to create the life that they want. They can they manifest very well. They're very successful. Okay, so let's get into their potential star signs or planets that they're kind of ruled by. So we have the 11th house here. Nice, bright, like refreshing lemonade energy, which I'm definitely getting that bright, refreshing vibe. This is also like a permanent friend with the infinity symbols here. So they could be an Aquarius, which is definitely like the ultimate friend sign. They have a strong social life and they love hanging out, and you then in that turn kind of get invited out to all these things, so you guys are just constantly going out. You guys are lifelong friends. And then we also have the first house. Ooh, so they could be an Aries. That kind of makes me feel like this person's very ambitious, and that's really good with this Magician card. They do put their well-being first, and the well-being of their friends. They'll always kind of think about that. They won't put you guys in a situation where you're not comfortable or like able to do something. So for example, if like you had just injured your foot, they wouldn't arrange for you guys to go like ice skating. Like they wouldn't be that kind of like cruel person. They would immediately accommodate that and be like, cool, I'm gonna come over to yours and we're gonna watch a movie together. Like it would be that they are very caring and considerate in that sense. But I feel like you guys are always going out, like you're out in the sun. All of these cards have sunny, rainbowy energy. So you guys are always outside or always at events. I also wanted to pull a crystal card, and you got pre-night with the number 5, so they could be a Leo. I'm serene, healed, and radiate unconditional love. Yeah, this person is just so refreshing to have in your life because they are such a loving person and they are so kind and caring. They just release this kind of healing energy. So it says Libra and Virgo here, so they could be either of those signs. They definitely rule with their heart. They're easy to forgive. They have so many imaginations. Like they believe you can achieve your dreams, and they always motivate their friends to do that and go after what they want. Then we also have Azurite here with the number 3. And we have awareness and empathy. So I do feel like this is a very empathetic person. And we've also got Aries again with the first house, so they could very well be an Aries. And it says, I find wisdom and maturity through spiritual growth. So they could very well be quite spiritual. And then the last one we had, I wasn't supposed to pull this many, but they all kind of fell out at me. So I'm just telling you them. So again, we have another 5 here. So very much could be a Leo energy, very fiery energy. This is someone who will stand up for you if need be. but albeit in a peaceful way, like a non-confrontational way. Confrontational, but like they would be really eloquent and just verbally like have these like one-liners that just win the argument immediately. I don't think they are a physical person. And it says, I welcome the different phases of my life. Yeah, this person goes with the flow. They accept where they're at and where they're going. They definitely lead with their heart, because we've had heart a few times. And then throat chakra, as I said, they're someone who argues very well and just speaks eloquently. I think they have no problem communicating and getting their needs across. We also have Taurus and Virgo energy, so again, could be one of those signs. They're very supportive, calming. They've got that nice, calm, like peaceful energy about them. I love all these colours. This is a colourful rainbowy person. And then let's see what we've got here. So we have Scorpio, first of all. Okay. I feel like with Scorpio, I feel like everybody likes this person. But they might be quite specific about who they like, but because they're such a likable person, they're nice to everyone. But who they actually keep as a genuine true friend is much smaller than people would imagine. And I also think this is like your favorite person. There's no one that kind of tops this person for you. I also think with this Sagittarius energy, this is somebody who doesn't take the opinions of people who aim to wound them with their words. They don't take their opinions seriously. Like, if someone was trying to be cruel to them, they genuinely would laugh it off. Maybe have like a one-liner retort back to them, but they would move on. It would not stay with them. They definitely enjoy traveling, but I think that can be like daily little adventures for this person. So it could just be like exploring the green park next to their house, or like going on a day trip to the beach or something like that. And with Saturn here, I feel like this is a very moral person. They might be in like law or something. They could be like a lawyer or in some sort of official way, because they are so diplomatic, mature. They would just suit that kind of thing, where they help people in that kind of very like serious way. They're very intelligent, and as I said, because they communicate well, they'd probably be able to argue well in terms of like a legal environment. So that's kind of the energy that I'm getting there. And then I also wanted to pull some tags just to sort of see how you can maybe identify this person, what they might look like. So you have turned down nose, you also have thick eyelashes, and you also have high cheekbones. Okay, and I also wanted to see how or when or where you guys might meet, and where either of you could be from, so it could be things like that. But we might also have months in here. Okay, so we got 3 places. Unfortunately, we did not get a month, so I cannot tell you the month that you guys would meet. But we have the United Kingdom, we also have Samoa, and we also have Canada. So again, this could be places you guys are from, but it could also be places you guys meet. Okay, so that was your reading, pile 5. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you felt drawn to any other piles, please feel free to check those out now. If not, I hope to see you here on Friday next week for another reading on TìandTarot.